Hi everyone, today we are comparing two of the biggest launches in River Valley, Promenade Peak and River Green. Both are launching on the same day, both located along River Valley Road, and both are drawing serious attention. So instead of debating which is better, our goal today is to help you figure out what actually makes sense for you, and we'll break things down by the pricing, layout, and what you're really getting at each quantum. There's really no need to eliminate either project. In fact, most buyers will be placing checks for both and hoping for a good ballot number. So our goal today is very simple, is to help you make the right decision on your booking day. And that decision often comes down to two things. Which unit types still fits your budget if your preferred stack is taken, and what's your next best option. For instance, if a 1 plus study at Promenade Peak is priced around 1.6 million, should you still go for it or pivot to a 2-bedroom at River Green for the same amount? So stay with us, especially if you want to make the most informed decision when the booking day comes. So these are all the ways you can look for me, either through my phone number 82620902, my Instagram, or my website. So feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions regarding Promenade Peak or River Green so that you can get yourself prepared for the actual booking day. So these are the two projects that we are talking about, Promenade Peak and River Green. So both of them are actually quite close to each other, just divided by one Singapore River and Alexandra Canal. And actually both of them enjoy the same amenities. But we also want to see whether the developers, they are credible or not. Because a lot of times we want to buy more from credible developers. Okay, so from All Green, you can see they've done a lot of projects in Singapore. 3 of them will be River Sales, Sky Suites at Anson, 1 Devonshire. So these two are in the more prime locations. And as for Wing Tai, they are no stranger to the CCR areas. Okay, so you can see they have done Novel 18, which is one of the very luxe projects. And then they have also done the M, that's at Bugis area, Middle Road. And then in the west, they have also done Lake Gardens. So their projects are quite well spread across the whole of Singapore, be it to cater to OCR, to CCR, or to RCR people.
So let's start with Promenade Peak. It has total 596 units ranging from 1 plus study to 5-bedroom penthouse. And the TOP date is Q4 2029. So what really stands out here, later we will show you, it is the height of the tower. And then next, River Green has a total of 524 units TOP in June 2030. So this one location actually is the same at River Valley area. One is Zion Promenade Road, one is River Green. So it's just separated by this Singapore River and the canal, right? Yeah, but they share the same Great World MRT. And they are also surrounded with the same amenities, your Great World City shopping mall, and also 1 kilometer to River Valley Primary School. So looking at this Promenade Peak, right, this being the tallest residential building in Singapore, the facade definitely gives an edge over River Green. This building is split into 3 main sections. So the level 63 is the top, the penthouse, just 2 units, super exclusive. Then the level 44 to level 62, that's what they call the Promenade Suites. These are the premium units, 3-bedder, 4-bedder, 5-bedders, and all comes with private lift access. So if you are someone who prioritizes this kind of grand, exclusive entry, this section is really designed for you. Then from level 2 to level 44 is called the Promenade Collection. These are the standard units, no private lifts. So what really sets this project apart are the facilities that we have, okay, because if you love your MBS infinity pool, now you get your own version right here in the Sky Peak at the rooftop. There's also a function room and leisure lounge, all with unblocked views. Then what's really very cool, because level 43, the developer actually dedicated fully to gym and fitness. So just imagine running on the treadmill, looking out at the skyline, really give you the kind of lifestyle vibes, right? Yeah. Then level 1 is just will be your pool area, your family facilities area.
Okay, so next about River Green. This is also a 1-tower condo, and per floor there will be 15 units. So there will be 6 lifts serving 15 units, and total we have 36 stories. Number of units, 524. So very similar to Promenade Peak, just that Promenade Peak has even higher tower, up to 63 floor. So you will realize that for River Green, the PSF will slightly be higher than that of Promenade Peak. And because Promenade Peak is able to spread across 63 floors, that's why the lower floors you will actually realize is very low on the PSF side. Okay, and what we have over here is a 50% car park, Okay, compared to Promenade Peak, they have 80%. So these two will be very different product, although they are side by side. Okay, so one is District 9 and one is District 3. So is this district really important? And one is CCR, one is RCR. So we have checked through the past transactions, okay, using two projects. One is Irwell Hill, which is in District 9 CCR, and the other one is Revere, District 3 RCR. And we realized that actually Revere saw more profits even though it's in the RCR region. So in this case, because both are located within the River Valley neighborhood, the district label, I feel it doesn't really play a huge role. So what really matters is the layouts and facilities and whether it suits your needs for own stay, or if your intention is to rent out, will the tenants like this location? Okay, so that's exactly why we are doing this side-by-side comparison later on, because they are neighbors with the same connectivity and same lifestyle offerings and might serve very different buyers' needs.
So looking at Promenade Peak site plan, the floor to ceiling height is actually different depending on which collection you are buying. So if you are looking into the Promenade collection, the level 2 to level 42, the height is at 3.15 meters, which is already pretty good. But the highlight is that just now we mentioned there are 6 lifts serving the Promenade collection, which every level has 12 units. Okay, but then if you are going for the Promenade Suite, which are the premium units from level 44 onwards, the ceiling height will be 3.325 meters. It might not sound like a lot, but the extra height really gives the space a more luxurious and open feel. So definitely you will feel the difference when you walk in. Then all the units are north, south, east, west. So during comparison, we will also state clearly the facing, and it's actually very similar to River Green. They are also facing the north, south, east, west.
Okay, so for River Green, you will see from the road level all the way up to level 2, because the unit starts from level 2. It is about 21 meters from road level, and there's a clearance between level 1 to level 2 is 16 meters. So why there's this kind of clearance are very similar to Promenade Peak as well. It's really to let the people who are at the facility zone enjoy a very breezy kind of feel inside, and you won't feel so dark in some parts of the facilities. So with this kind of opening at the bottom, it gives everyone's this pleasant experience. And like I said just now, it's spread across. These towers will contain 15 units per floor. So if you are someone who likes more exclusivity, you might not prefer River Green. But there are also some pros and cons that we also want to talk about and share with you why some people or majority of the people will still prioritize River Green first. Okay, so this is the site plan. Like what Charlene mentioned, we have the north, south, east, west facing for all the units. So what we have beside is the Trillium Condo, Cosmopolitan, and right after that will be Great World City. So even though there are units facing the west side, these west units will actually feel the views will be nicer because you are facing Great World City. Towards the southwards, we have another land that's nearby, that's by Goko Land, that's coming out likely next year. So the south facing, the lower floor, you will be able to see this pool, okay, and then the highest floors, you can actually see Goko Land's construction going on. So whether or not you want to buy something like that, that's your preference. Also speak to us, then we can help you navigate better. Towards the east, we have Yong'an Park. The shorter blocks will be about 15 floors. Okay, higher blocks will be about 30 floors. And then towards the north, we have Rivershire just in front. So the lower floors, you will have this tennis court right downstairs, and the higher floors, you will overlook Rivershire and towards Irwell Hills.
So this is the unit mix for both River Green and Promenade. When we look at both developments, right, for River Green, they have more than 60%, and Promenade Peak also more than 60% that have units for a smaller unit type 1 and 2 bedders. So when there's such a big focus on the smaller unit types, right, your layout and pricing really need to be right, especially if you're buying for investment. That's why in this video, we are not here to tell you which project is better. Instead, we want to help you zoom in on the right unit type based on your desired unit, and more importantly, the price point to watch out for. So for example, River Green 1 Plus study has 35 units, whereas Promenade Peak 1 bedroom has 80 units. So naturally, if the supply is low for River Green, it will be preferred, right? But what we will touch on will be the different factors to let you have a more informed decision, as now supply is not just the only one factor.
Now, these are the price matrices that I spent time doing until you see my eye bags are quite heavy.
Before already.
So We have some also some information from reliable sources on what's the per floor jump, what's the starting from, and how much is the maximum price that we are looking at. So today, if you are already in the plans of going to see the show flat to understand the projects more, you can also watch this video so that you have this price in mind for whichever unit types you are looking at. All right, so just to briefly mention to you, we can see there is a starting PSF over here. We also have the maximum price that I've stated. And if that's the maximum price, what is the PSF we are likely to see? So for all the unit types we have, and those red ones are actually these unit types won't touch this kind of prices. So that means the spread will be lesser than 9K for this B4. And the spread will be lesser by 11K per floor jump for this BS3. Okay, so I've done the whole list, which I can't show you in this slide here because it's a really long list from level 2 all the way to level 36. So today, if you are planning to see which floor you want to aim for, okay, so because this one's got level 2 to level 44, you also want to plan at which range or which floor you want to cut off to shift to another unit type. Or during the price check, it's also easier for you to go and ask for prices for certain levels. So this is our river green again. It's very compact over here. Later on, when we go through different floor plan, different unit types, you will see a more elaborated one. This is two side by side. You can pause this video right now, take a screenshot down so that you can have a very quick comparison between these two projects. What you can realize is if you are looking at Promenade Peak's 2-bedroom over here, the prices will reach about 2.1, 2.2 million over here. And with that range, you can actually buy up to the 2+ study in River Green, or even some you can go into 3-bedroom in River Green. So you realize there will be a lot of cross comparison between different unit types as well. So of course, if you can buy a bigger unit type, that will be better. So all the rankings later on, the top choices will take all this into consideration. Also, I've put these two recent launches that have already launched about 1 week, okay, just last week. So these are the current prices that are still available over here. All in blue are the available units, and this on top will be the transacted prices. So during booking day of Promenade Peak and River Green, it's also very crucial for you to know what are the other options that you have in these two launches, because it's very likely that some units will be hitting these kind of prices over here. And if you can go into 999 years project, why not?
Today we will be doing a bit different from our usual video. We will start off with 1 and 2-bedroom unit types, but looking purely from an investment point of view. Meaning if your intention is to rent it out, we will focus on rental yield. And if you are working with a set of quantum, we will show you the order of priority which you need to look at first and why. Like just now, Jay mentioned the comparison between 1-bedroom and 2-bed. First, Promenade, smallest 1-bedroom type, 1+ study, 527 square feet. Indicative starting price 2,680 per square foot, and based on the floor premium, 7,000 per floor jump. We've mapped out the prices all the way from level 2 to level 42. We will compare the newest launch with Robertson Opus and Upper House at Orchard Boulevard. The average transacted price at Robertson Opus is 1.54 million. So this is a 999 years. And Upper House just now we mentioned is 99 years. So the average sales for Upper House is 1.44 million. Robertson Opus 1-bedroom, 495 square feet. The lowest balance unit price is 1.59 million. So meaning today, if you're at Promenade queuing for a 1-bedroom, once you are only left with this level 20, you can start considering for Robertson Opus because you are paying almost the same price for 999 years and mixed development. Then, if you are queuing at level 10 for Promenade at 1.4 million, you can actually consider Upper House because of the location at District 9 and CCR region. So right now, this is just a start of how we want to advise you on more options to be planned out. So when buyers are at the ballot queue, you will be focusing on what are the prices in Promenade, and you will probably miss out on what are the prices that have already transacted at other nearby launches. Because you're in the queue, you will be very stressed, right? So the last thing that we want in Promenade is if you're paying at a higher price, 1.65 million, but there are actually options in Robertson, 999 years at 1.59, and even in Upper House at 1.51. So we also want to see Promenade, is it overpriced around this area at the nearby resale developments transaction. So how much you want to buy and how do we stand out when you TOP in the resale market. So we'll compare Irwell Hill Residences and Riviera. So Irwell Hill TOP in 2024, their 1 plus study layout is 495 square feet. So looking at this, right, is lower floor level 19 is selling at the same per square foot 2,989 as per the Promenade Peak level 25, 2,985 per square foot. So same per square foot but lower floor. Then Riviera, now the 1 bedroom has no study. It is 560 square feet. Same floor, level 31. They are transacting at 1.76. Then you compare to the same floor at Promenade, level 31, is selling at 1.6 million. So comparing these two, there is a price gap of 147,000. So in terms of resale buyers around the area, the 1 bedroom here all crossing 1.7 million mark. Actually, buyers have also accepted 1.828 million for a 1 bedroom with no study. Then we will compare River Green. Because of the size of the layout, we will be comparing River Green's 1 bedroom, 1 plus study, and the 2 bed 1 bath layout. Because the 2 bed 1 bath size is also the same as Promenade, 527 square feet. So these two side by side, we have did an Excel spreadsheet for your reference. Once you cross level 10 at Promenade Peak, which is near to 1.5 million, which is also the River Green 2 bed 1 bath starting price. And as you go higher level for your Promenade Peak, right, you can even go to a River Green higher level of 2 bed 1 bath. So today, let's say you have a certain budget of example 1.6 million. What I will do is to prioritize River Green, 2 bed 1 bath, level 12 or level 13. So during ballot queue, I will check, do I still have balanced units of this level 12 and level 13 River Green? If not, I will check for lower level. If there is no units left, then I will go to Promenade 1 plus study layout. But this scenario will only happen if my queue in River Green is better than Promenade Peak. But then, what if my queue is better in Promenade and not so good in River Green?
So this question is very crucial. You have to think about it first, because what happens is the booking day is likely on the same day, and if let's say it's not on the same day, then it's even better. But if it's on the same day, then you have to know which units you want to prioritize first, which units to check first, and whether or not are you going to wait for your Promenade collections queue. Okay, so let's say your Promenade collection, you get something like 200 plus, but your River Green option is maybe about 400 plus or 500 plus. Okay, do you still want to wait for your River Green, the chance in River Green, or if you see Promenade collection is hitting your turn and there are still units for you to buy, do you want to buy Promenade collection first? So all this, think about it first. You also plan with your agent. I think it's very important to know the sequence of events.
Okay, then we will compare the layout side by side for Promenade and River Green. Of course, our first choice just now we mentioned is River Green 2 bed 1 bath. Try to prioritize, okay? And there are two types of 2 bed 1 bath, but we choose this as a top choice because one is east facing, another is west facing. And also, this top choice, okay, when you enter in, there is an enclosable kitchen. So you can do a sliding door to close it up and the designated dining area. Whereas you compare the second choice, because of the placement of the wall, right, it might have some issue with doing up the enclosable sliding door. Then you do not have your proper dining area because it is in the middle of the walkway as well. If your River Green option is out, then the third choice, we will be choosing this Stack 07 1 plus study layout. Okay, so what is the difference between this Stack 6 and Stack 07 is because the master bathroom have a window, and then the placement of the kitchen, one is separated and one is just one side. Okay, so this will be the third choice. What we want is be very clear. If your queue number is early at both show flats and unit prices are close, what should you go for? Or if you only have limited time to decide, you already know your sequence and your price cap. Then we will look at the rental yield based on the nearby developments, which we have indicated here, the older developments and newer developments. So for 1 bedroom or 1 plus study, the rental can range from about 4,000 to 6,000. So for 2-bedroom or 2 plus study, the rental ranges from 5,003 to 9,002. Promenade Peak 1 plus study average rental should be 4,005 and rental yield will be 3.2% to 3.8%. And River Green 2-bed 1 bath average rental will be 5,003 and the rental yield comes up to be about 3.4 to 4.2%. So from an investment standpoint, I will definitely prioritize the River Green's 2-bed 1 bath first because number one, it gives you a better rental yield for the same quantum. Now then, based on the rents and our pricing, so at the point of when you're queuing up, right, you can also use this rental yield calculation to gauge which one gives you the highest yield. And if you're still eyeing Promenade Peak or due to the budget quantum, go for the lower floors. That's where the rental yield still works out decently and keeps your investment strategy intact.
So before I start with the 2-bed 2 bath, you realize even for the 1-bedroom, there are a lot of steps that you should take into consideration, like what are the prices for my River Green, what are the unit types available for my River Green, what are the queue numbers that I need to look out for, and what are the rentals, then comparing to Opus and Upper House, all this. There's really a lot of homework for you to prepare. So if you are going in blind to the booking day, I think it's very likely you might choose the wrong unit. But if your queue is good enough, then you might be lucky enough to just choose the right one. But we believe whichever unit it is, the demand is very strong because from the show flats, we have seen people just standing outside. They can't even enter the show flat. So really a lot of people are coming to see, like even people from the west side, the Punggol side, they're all coming into River Green area to see. Why? Because the quantum is really very affordable. All right, so
actually HDB upgraders, right?
HDB upgraders especially because this will be the very one of the rare chance 万中无一
they can
they can enter into River Valley at this kind of price. And I think we forget to mention these two projects are harmonized projects and they will be the first harmonized projects in each of their areas. Okay, so the River Valley Road area and also the Zion area. Okay, and this is why there's a reset in prices. You will see lower prices that you have never seen before for a new development. All right, so let's go into 2-bed 2 bath. Okay, so today in Promenade collection we have 4 types. Okay, north, south, east. There's no east facing. There's also only north, south, west, and then south. Okay, but you can see different sizes. There's 657, 667, 689, 678. So we already have confirmation that the prices will not exceed 2.2 million. So I have done the spread across. So it's about 9,000 for the per floor jump. And they are starting from about 2680 PSF. Okay, so the range wise will be 1.8 million all the way up to 2.2 million. So again, we want to compare if there's better options out there for Robertson Opus and Upper House. If I want to see Robertson Opus, there is actually units in the 2.253 million. Okay, so if I'm reaching the top, okay, if I see the units are reaching the prices already, I might want to consider topping up a little bit more to just go for a 999 years D9 project. Okay, or if not, if I'm in the middle range, okay, level 30 or so, I might also consider to top up to Upper House 2.171 million. Okay, so these two, just keep in mind, always have Robertson Opus and Upper House in your mind when you're in the booking day. Why? Because we have seen from EOK and Chuan Park and also Tembusu Grand. These 3 projects actually bring a lot of buyers to Continuum on the launch day because people realize, Continuum have a much better price and also it's a freehold project over there. Okay, so all this keep in mind, and then now we move on to whether the 2-bed 2 bath is worth it to buy over here. We see that just now I mentioned it's 1.8 to 2 million. So over here in Well Hill Residences, let's compare. It's a non-harmonized project, and then this is at level 33. Transacted 2.23 million. For us at level 33, we have a 2.079 million. And the size is 667 over here. Our size is also 667. So in fact, if we buy in this level 33 unit in Promenade collection, we are actually paying 151,000 lesser than a resale project. If we compare to Riviera, the level 13 to our level 13 in Promenade, we will have a prices of 1.89 or 1.9 million. Okay, comparing to their level 13 over here, which is 2.32 million. So the price gap is whooping 421,000. If you go lower floor, I don't know why this level 6 bought more expensive than this level 13. They transacted at 2.375 million. So if we compare to our level 6, basically we have a 476,000 gap. So this gap, I will not guarantee you that this will be your future profits, but at the on-start entry price, you are already buying these kind of prices lower than the same district resale project. So I will say this 2-bed 2-bath will be very safe for you to enter. And now we go into the floor plan. First, we compare between 2-bed 2-bath in Promenade collection first. Okay, so I rank 1, 2, 3. So just follow me. I'll explain to you why I choose this. These are my personal opinions. Of course, if you have your own preferences, this order might change. Okay, so before going to the booking day, remember to list out which is your 1, 2, 3 first. Okay, so that you can check the prices according to your preference first. So why I prefer this as my number 1 is because I have a privacy of entrance over here, and this is a traditional layout. So my rooms are actually tucked to one corner. Next thing is this kitchen, although on the floor plan you see is a open concept, all right, but over here there's a space for me to build a sliding door to keep my kitchen tucked away. So today if I want to do some oily cookings, at least I can close this place away. All right, so these are the 2 points. Okay, compared to this, option number 2 is actually just the entrance that is different because me personally, I like more privacy lah. Okay, and then comparing to the third choice, you can see although there's a privacy over here, if you don't look carefully, you might feel this is privacy. But if you look more carefully, if someone is standing over here, they can actually look into the bedroom too. Okay, and for the kitchen wise, it's very hard for me to enclose it up because this part and this part is not in line. If we want to also bring in river green as an option, what should we be looking at? If my units in Promenade Peak are only left with the top floor, which is in the 2.1, 2.2 range, actually basically I can start to buy anything in river green. Okay, anything in river green, 2 premium, 2-bed 2-bath, I can actually afford. All right, so even if I want to stretch to 2+ study, I can look at level 10 and below because I have 2 million and downwards. How would I want to prioritize? I want to prioritize to buy a 2+ study in river green first, followed by the 2+ study. I will prioritize river green 2-bed 2-bath before going back to Promenade collection 2-bed 2-bath. So between Promenade Peak and river green, just follow me. I have again 1, 2, 3. All right, so just now in Promenade, I already have my own 1, 2, 3. Now is between Promenade Peak and river green. So this one, I already mentioned why I prefer this, but why I prefer this over this choice number 2 is because this is a dumbbell layout. So in terms of the resale, usually a normal traditional layout, people prefer it more due to the privacy of the rooms. Okay, dumbbell layout, although it's very efficient, people who prefers privacy might not like this. Okay, but why this is number 2 is also because this is an enclosable kitchen. So river green, although the floor plate is very small, smaller compared to the surrounding projects lah, but I'm really amazed how developers still manage to do this kind of enclosable kitchen with proper bedrooms. Okay, so very sizable, very efficient layout over here, and I will have a small study over here. Why I will not buy this as my first? Because this study to me feels like it's just another space. It's not really a study room. Okay, then comparing to the third choice, this third choice will be the east facing third choice. Again, I have a enclosable kitchen over here. So why I state this as 3 and this as 2 is because this one doesn't have a study space. Okay, now I also want to show you, just now I mentioned people tend to like traditional layout more than dumbbell. So if I use a same District 3 project to see, okay, Sterling Residences, I went to check on their profits and I sort by the highest profits and downwards. Actually, you can see majority of them quite nice profits. This is just a 2-bedroom. You can see they make about 400,000 to 600,000. All of them are 764 square feet and also 689 square feet, which I already put the floor plan over here to show you they are traditional layouts. Only one of them, which is the 786 square feet, this is the 2+ study dumbbell layout. So 2+ study, the profits, there's only one that make to make it into the top 20s. It's quite surprising. So this goes to show the buyers in District 3, they might prefer traditional layouts more.
Then we will look at the 2+ study. So will people prefer the 2+ study or the 2-bed 2-bath? Okay, then here are the collection that we stated for 2+ study in Promenade. There are 3 different types: 764 square feet, 786 square feet, and 797 square feet. So the starting will be 2.1 onwards all the way to up to highest 2.6 million with price increment of 11,000 per floor. Again, comparing it with our Robertson Opus and Upper House, Robertson Opus transacted averagely 2.4 million and highest at 2.6 million. Then we will zoom into the 2 plus study, which is the 743 square feet. This is the balance unit. So the lowest price is now selling at 2.49 million, which means when we look at Promenade at level 30, you might want to consider the choice already, because topping up, you can, even if you were to go to higher level, right? Actually, you can pay for the 999 years. And next, Upper House, averagely 2.45 million, highest 2.72 million. The remaining balance, 764 square feet, this is the 2 plus study, is at 2.62 million. So this is still comparable with Promenade. And if I'm only left with level 42 units, right, you want to consider whether you want to top up a bit to get the Orchard District address, but it's up to your preference. Okay, next, we will compare the price gap to the resale. Well Hill Residences, right? The lower floor, same per square foot, 3,300. Actually, you can buy Promenade highest floor, level 42, 3,300 per square foot. Also to note that Well Hill has no study. Next, Riviera, also no study room. Okay, the biggest 2-bedroom, although it's at a bigger floor plate, 818 square feet, but the transaction is at 2.5 million and it's at level 18. So which means comparing it to 2.5 million, you can buy up to all the way from level 20 to level 38 for the 2 plus study layout. And Riviera offers, although a bigger unit, but it's an older resale and still priced the same as Promenade 2 plus study. So Promenade will stand an edge over. So zooming into the 2 plus study layouts, okay, why we don't have a ranking towards a 1, 2, 3, because it is all almost the same. Because the 2 plus study, the study room, you can see here, the 3 layouts. The study room isn't like a proper room. It's just like a corner carved out from your walkway. So it may work for occasional use, but if you want a dedicated work from home setup, it might feel a bit exposed or awkward. And then for the layouts, it's more on a longish walkway. Although they use a very big floor plate of a 764 to 797 square feet, the adds up on the size on the paper but doesn't contribute much to the usable space, which could impact the functionality in the layout. So there is no ranking to these layouts. Now comparing Promenade to River Green, this is the price map out for 2 plus study versus the 3-bed compact and the 3 premium. So zooming into the price point, again, if you're taking the 3-bed compact in River Green, starting from 2.25 million, actually, right, in Promenade 2 plus study, at level 20 and above, maybe you can top up a bit more. You can go to a 3-bed compact in River Green. Whereas if you're at the highest floor, level 42, you can actually go for River Green 3-bed premium of 872 square feet and 883 square feet. So what we really need to look at is the order of priority. Then we will zoom into the layouts of River Green. Top choices, and now we have ranking. Top choices will be this C3 layout because it is a north and east facing comparing to C2 south and west. Definitely the northeast will be the top choice. Okay, 883 square feet. There is a home shelter, a proper enclosable kitchen, proper dining space, and all the bedrooms are tucked into one side. And yeah, it's queen size also. Next, C2 layout. C2 layout is almost the same, it's just that the facing, as we mentioned. Okay, why we put C1 layout as the last choice? Because for this bedroom 3, you can only fit a single size bedroom. So I will say that maybe it will be more like a similar size to a Promenade 2 plus study layout. They are trying to squeeze in the 3 rooms together. So this is one of the smallest 3-bedder in River Green, which feels more like a 2 plus study layout.
But even for this 2 plus study, I feel this study, so-called study, is a proper room. Compared to Promenade Peak's study is just a space. So definitely I will want to prioritize River Green first before I buy anything 2 plus study in Promenade Peak.
Then we will compare River Green's 3-bed premium of 872 square feet, 883 square feet to the nearby resale project. Again, Well Hill Residences. This 3-bedder has no home shelter. And they also have a one small room, so it's like the River Green C1, the smaller compact. Okay, it can only fit a single size bed. But they have already transacted at 2.64 million. So zooming in to see River Green, 2.64 million, you can even go up to level 9. And then Riviera, we can look at the 3-bedder. They have also no home shelter. And for this level 9 transacting at 3.25 million and level 5 transacting at 3.35 million. So it's a bit weird, the lower floor transacting always higher amount. So 3.2, 3.35, you can go up to the highest level and you will still have a price gap. Okay, if you compare level 9, you have a price gap of 616,000. So this is a very significant price gap. In value perspective, River Green's 3-bed premium actually offers a lower entry price and with much functionality in the layout.
Okay, so to sum it up for investors out there looking at Promenade and River Green, let me give you a very quick summary so that if you do not have time or you just want to use this for your booking day, you can do so. So just take now as the booking day. So how should we prioritize your units? So if you are looking at Promenade 1 plus study or Promenade 2-bed or Promenade 2 plus study, this is the ranking that you should be looking at. So first, I will look at 2-bed 1 bath River Green first if I'm also considering 1 plus study in Promenade Peak. Okay, the next I want to check prices for will be 2-bed 1 bath River Green. And then lastly, then I will check AS2 stack 7 for Promenade Peak. Okay, this should be your order, first, second, third. Of course, the prices also should make sense. Okay, if all the prices are the same, this is the order. Or if my queue is good for River Green, then this will be the order. But if my queue for Promenade Peak to River Green is very far apart for me to wait for River Green, I might consider to just buy something in Promenade Peak. Okay, AS2 stack 07. So if I'm considering 2-bed 2 bath in Promenade Collection, the sequence I'll go for is B5 Promenade Collection. Okay, this is a 2-bed 2 bath stack 10. And then next will be River Green 2 plus study stack 9. Then the third choice will be either stack 6 or stack 7. This is the 2 premium. All right, so I will not have to worry whether my queue is good or bad because even my queue is let's say good for River Green, then I might go for my second choice first. Okay, if you can get something in River Green, basically just get something in River Green because of D9 CCR region. Okay, you have more higher quantum projects to compare to during resale time. All right. Then lastly, if let's say I'm going for 2 plus study for Promenade Collection, I want to first consider a C3 in River Green, then a C2 in River Green, lastly a C1 in River Green. Okay, so I will prioritize River Green straight away and cut off anything in Promenade for 2 plus study. Okay, just want to give you more clarity for 2 plus study because I really feel River Green has better options. Okay. Then comparing to Robertson Opus, okay, these are the prices that I already set up for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just take note of the lower prices. Very likely, all these units will move on launch days of River Green and Promenade. So just take note of the average. If you are touching anywhere nearing to the average, start to consider Robertson Opus. Or if I'm you watching the video now during the preview of River Green and Promenade, I will already want to go and view Opus and Upper House to understand more on their layouts and pricing. Okay, so Upper House also, you see from 1 bed there's 1.5 million, 2 bed 2.17, then 3 bed 3.8. Okay, the 4 bed I will not touch for Upper House because it's really very expensive. But later on when we talk about the own stay, we will let you understand more why we don't touch this 7 million. So now, for people who are looking to stay in these areas, Zion or Promenade, give us your full attention, grab your coffee because we are going more in depth into the layouts. Okay, so for own stay buyers, we will look into more of the feeling when you enter the project, the unit, and also the pricing. Is it worth paying for it or not? So first, if you are going for a Promenade Peak 3-bedroom, these are the prices that you should expect, starting from 2.9 million all the way up to 3.4. Okay, the spread will be about 14K jump per floor. Okay, and you will be looking at level 2 to level 42. So Robertson Opus, for their 3-bedroom, okay, we have a 3.72 million, which is the last unit. This is quite highly sought after, 1152 square feet. So you see, this is 3.72 million. If I'm only left with level, the top floor for Promenade Peak, then I might consider topping up. but that's a top up about 300,000. Okay, but if I'm okay with a smaller 3-bedroom, actually I can find something in the 3.2, 3.1 range over here. And these are my pricing for level 20 onwards, 3.1 to 3.2 range. Okay, once I'm in Promenade collection, I see, I only left with 20 and above. Then that's where I want to go and consider Opus. Right. Then for upper house, we have only one unit left, which is in the 3.8 million zone. Okay, so upper house totally, just keep it out of your mind. You don't need to consider anymore. Okay, just Promenade and Robertson Opus. Okay, so whether is it worth it, let's see again, Well Hill and Riviera. Why these two projects we keep mentioning is because they are the newest project in both areas and closest to the projects that we want to compare. So Well Hill, no household shelter for this unit, 861 square feet. There's a smaller room which only fits a single size bed. So they have the same PSF, 3000 PSF at a lower floor, level 9. So this PSF, actually I can buy a level 30 over here compared to level 9. So it's definitely better because I have a proper room for this 3-bedroom. Okay, then we compare to Riviera, our immediate competitor. They do not have a household shelter yet. They are buying 225k more than us. So they have transacted 3.25 million for a level 9. So Promenade Peak level 10 is a 3 million and a 2.9 million. So basically I'm saving 225,000 by buying a better unit because I will have household shelter. To River Green options, just now I talked about whether you should consider Robertson Opus, but if Robertson Opus is out of your budget already, next River Green should be your next option. Okay, so like I mentioned, it's between 2.8 to 2.9 million all the way up to 3.4. So you can see for the 4 bedrooms in River Green, we have 2.8 all the way up to 3.4 to 3.5 million. So basically anything in Promenade collection, 3-bedroom, I can afford a 4-bedroom in River Green. So although the size, this is 980, this is 1000 over. Okay, so does it really matter when it comes to resale? Okay, so just quickly to just let you understand, when you go and search for resale properties, the first thing you type in is the number of bedrooms that you want to look for. So this River Green will actually belong to the 4-bedroom type. When I search 4-bedroom, River Green will come up instead of Promenade. Okay, so the size wise, I don't know whether people still put in size right now because of the harmonized ruling. A lot of people don't put in the size anymore. They just put in 1 4 bedrooms then to see the filter, what it filters out. Okay, so at the same price point, definitely I will choose River Green 4-bedroom first. And also it has a stack 08 south facing. So very nice numbers for Chinese. 3 premium in River Green going for 2.5 to 3.1 million. So you can see the gap is actually quite about 200,000 thereabouts. So 200,000 cheaper, I can buy the same 3 bedrooms in River Green. Okay, so I also want to prioritize this. In the floor plan, this is my 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 being the River Green south facing. This is 4-bedroom. Okay, so the 4 bedrooms over here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, all can fit minimally queen size. The only downside for this 4-bedroom is you don't see the usual very wide living hall. Okay, so River Green's developer, very clear, Wing Tai, they are very clear. If they want to make the quantum low, they will just make it low and compact. Okay, so it's very obvious they are not trying to show you that, wow, this is a very good 4-bedroom, but they just want to make sure they are creating history. The lowest ever 4-bedroom, the price you can find in River Valley. My second option will be Promenade Peaks C1. Okay, because this is north facing compared to the west facing unit. When you buy 3 bedrooms, definitely resale buyers, they come for viewings, especially if your stack is facing the west. They will definitely want to view the unit during 3-4 p.m. So don't get yourself stuck by buying something facing west. Although when you go down to a show flat, I think you will hear the agents or the developers say that our glass is tinted, can help you block. But in people's mind, it's already west side. Mental block already. Okay, so north facing, I will still have this kitchen over here. If you can see, the kitchen is connected to my balcony. So very rare to come by for this kind of layout where the kitchen is connected to balcony. All right, and then I also have privacy. Why? Because when I look into the unit, I only see the kitchen. I don't see the living hall. And then all my bedrooms again can fit queen size minimally. The master can fit king size. And if you realize, it's all facing the same direction towards the north. So I have a very nice view of Great Wall City. Okay, level 3 will come back to River Green. This is my north and east facing. This is my C3 unit that just now Charlene already mentioned what is inside already lah. Household shelter, enclosed kitchen.
If you are considering 3-bed premium with private lift, now you can totally ignore River Green because it is a different product. There are two different sizes. One is 1195 square feet and one is 1163 square feet. Later, I will touch on the layout type. So the starting price for level 44 onwards will be from 3.6 million all the way up to 4 million. Per floor jump will be 19,000. And we want to pay more attention to Robertson Opus and upper house pricing. So it depends if you're choosing to have a budget of 3.8 million range, 3.8 million. Okay, you can actually buy any 3 bedrooms in Robertson Opus because the prices are from 3.1 all the way to 3.7. And anything which is the same price or lower, you can consider. But what we will lose out is the private lift. So it depends whether do you prefer private lift or you are someone that doesn't go for private lift but you prefer 999 years product. Then upper house, I will not consider anymore because the balance unit is 3.8 million and which is the highest at the upper house that you are paying for because the highest is now 3.7. So we do not want to buy the balance unit which you are paying for the most expensive one. And highest 3.7 million, you can go for at least level 45 onwards. Now we will compare Riviera. The level 30 Riviera, 1,500 square feet is already transacting at 5.02 million, whereas even the highest floor level 62, right, is only 4 million. So if you compare based on the level lowest 3.6 million, there is already a price gap of 1.35 million. So, and it is not only one unit, 3-bedroom in Riviera, it's more than one. Is 3 units that have already crossed the 5 million mark. Then we will zoom into the floor plans of this 3-bedroom. Top choice being this CP2 1163 square feet, okay, because firstly, when you step in here, you will be greeted by this very wide and open concept of this living area. So it feels very open and spacious comparing to this CP1 layout. When you step in here from the private lift, right, it is more on the longish type, not so open and spacious, which is very important in terms of resale market because when resale buyers step into this floor plan, step into this unit, right, the feeling, the first impression really matters a lot. Then if you look at this CP2 layout, this kitchen is also wider comparing to this CP1 layout, which is more on a narrow side. So layout wise, definitely this is the top choices. South facing, comparing it to this north facing layout.
Okay, now we go into the 4-bedroom private lift for Promenade Peak. We have 3 types. One is DP1, 1421 square feet. DP2 also the same square feet. DP3 will be slightly bigger, 1582 square feet. So later on, we'll touch on what's the difference in the layout. So we can see prices starting from 4.4-ish all the way up to about 6 million. Okay, so they'll never cross 6 million. What I like about Promenade Peak is preview period, they already mentioned what is the max price they will be selling at for every different types. So this one actually helps in what? On the actual day itself, they will not increase price anymore. So they will keep to that. So if you want to buy on the launch day, then day 2, then they will start to increase prices. So day 1, they already promise they'll be capping at certain prices. But for River Green, it's different. River Green, what I realized is during the preview period, because they see the demand so high, right? They already start to adjust the prices upwards. So initially, we thought River Green is about, maybe the cap is about 3,003 PSF. But the recent news that we hear say the top can reach about 3,005, 3,006 PSF. So judging by demand, they might increase even more subsequently. So on the launch day itself, for River Green, you might see that they will stop the sales and then they will increase the price. Stop the sales, increase the price again.
Trump Park,
like Trump Park, like EOK also, Jaden also. So very important, keep the prices in your mind, all this comparison in your mind because some other places might have better options for you. Okay, so coming back to 4-bed private lift, with that range of prices, what we also want to see for Robertson Opus, what can I buy? There's only one unit that you should aim for. Okay, at the point of filming, this is still available, but I will believe come launch day, this will be sold already because this is only 5.12 million and this is the 4-bedroom, the biggest unit in Opus. Only 9 of such units inside Opus. So very rare. And 5.12 is basically the price of my, let's say, level 55 over here. So no doubt this has better facilities, better height, but ultimately this is still D3 99 years compared to a D9 999. Over here, I got 4 nines over here. And some more, one more thing, one more 9. This is in stack 9. The stack is 9 and only 9 units.
长长久久.
Many 9s. Okay, but upper house straight away I will eliminate because upper house for their 4-bedroom, if you go to the show flat and see, the square feet is over here, they state is 2,000, I think. 2,000 square feet. But if you go to the show flat, you realize part of the square feet belongs to the parking lot that they are selling to you. So we calculated the parking lot will cost the buyers about 300,000. So you have to pay 300,000 for a parking lot. So that's part of the 7 million over here. And next time when you sell, you're also selling the parking lot together. So very, very unique. I wouldn't say other words.
Different kind of buyers already.
Different tier already. But you can see out of 31 units, 11 buyers bought. So there are 11 different buyers out there already. Okay, but in comparison to Promenade Peak, I would say the crowd will be different. The profile is different. So just keep upper house out of your mind. So the price gap to resale for 4-bedroom in D3, Riviera, and Promenade area. Okay, first we look into Urwell again. So they are level 34. It's 10 floor lower than us. Okay, but it's more expensive by 163,000. Okay, so they transacted 4.64 million comparing to our level 44, which is in the 4.4 range. Okay, so Riviera, our level 34 in Riviera is 10 floors lower, okay, than us. So 10 floors lower than us, but they are buying, 2.16 million more than us because they transacted 6.638 comparing to our 4 million. So this is the benefit about buying a harmonized project. Because no longer developers are going to build so huge where there are some wasted space here and there. Okay, so no doubt this is 2,000 square feet. Some parts of the house will feel very spacious. But when it comes to resale, when people search online for a 4-bedroom, they will see this 4 million versus 6 million in the market. Okay, but they just want to enjoy the same amenities. So there will definitely be crowd for a 4 million 4-bedroom over there. Okay, and if we compare to level 2, okay, and to our level 44 is 42 floors different, the gap is already 869,000. So if you buy this 4-bedroom, basically you are really sitting on a very safe kind of profit that you can expect. So the 4-bedroom private lift, there's no 1, 2, 3 because at this point in time, I would say every buyers have their own preferences, and I would say money is not a problem anymore for them. Okay, but if I'm to choose myself, I'll definitely choose DP3 first. Okay, if you want to buy big, just go for the biggest one. But this biggest one also makes more sense. Why? Because the very unique thing is about this kitchen. Okay, a square kitchen with an island in between, and then there's a sliding door for you to enclose it up. Okay, comparing to other kitchens over here, this is the kitchen, and then the other kitchen, I think is this one. Okay, so you do not have the very wide kind of kitchen anymore. This advantage is if you open this up, the living area extends into the kitchen. Whereas for the kitchens over here, even with the doors open, this does not feel like a part of the living hall. Okay, so take note of the facings. Okay, east, south. This DP3 actually has the best facing, south and east. Whereas for this DP2, there's a west.
Then you're aiming for the 5-bed layout with private lift. This is your size, 1,884 square feet, starting from 6.2 million, all the way the max price will be at 7 million. At the current time of filming, these are the whole 5-bedroom balance units in RCR region, and these are all below 7 million. So with all these in RCR, right, what is the one that stands out is this continuum, because it is a freehold and selling from 5.5 million to 6.6 million. So now when you see this information at this point of time, when you have a budget of 6.6 million, you can already consider the continuum, because For 5.5 million, you can get a freehold tenure in the same RCR region. Let's zoom into the 5-bedroom layout. When you step into your house, okay, same thing as what Jay mentioned, they also have this very good kitchen because of the sliding door, which you open up the sliding door, it lets your living extend it to the kitchen, making it a very big and wide spacious layout, which this balcony runs across the entire living space, right? It gives a lot of light and airflow, especially now you are level 44 and above. All the bedrooms, right, are all tucked into one side. So when you want, right, you can enclose this area so it separates out the living dining area towards your bedroom area to make it a more privacy, okay? And looking at all the bedrooms, they are all able to fit in a queen size bed. And there is a junior master bedroom. Bedroom 4 here is another ensuite room. Bedroom 2 and bedroom 3, you have a shared bathroom. Okay? And looking at the master bedroom, king size, definitely no issue. There is a walk-in wardrobe and a his and her sink. So this is a kind of luxury kind of layout that the buyers in this area are looking for. For 5 bedrooms in the market, it is actually very rare, and especially in this kind of central location, if you are looking for a 5 bedroom, it's not gonna just fly off from the shelf. You will need to prepare to hold and stay and wait for the right buyer when you sell. Because we just take an example of some RCR 5 bedrooms as an example. For Jadescape, their 5 bedroom highest profit is already at 1.6 million. So you can see over here, these are all the 5 bedrooms transacted profit. Then looking at Queen's Peak, their highest 5 bedroom profits is also $1 million. Next, we shift it back to the River Valley area. One of the closest comparison for 5 bedroom is the Trillium. Okay, but this is a freehold condo near Kim Seng area and also a short walk to Great World MRT. Their 5 bedroom already transacted, recent transaction at $6 million. But then here's the catch, because this layout is on a round shape type, which means you will lose a lot of the kind of usable space. And also, 2 of the bedroom over here and here, you can only fit a single size bed. So it's not a full queen size bed kind of layout. So in terms of the layout and functionality, definitely Promenade Peak has the clearer edge over it.
Even this one make 1.7 million profit.
Yeah, 1.7 million profit.
So you can see sometimes demand of certain room sizes will outweigh the layout itself. So there are even people willing to pay this kind of profits to someone else just for this kind of round layout with some wasted space. So if let's say today you secure a 5 bedroom in Promenade Peak, can you imagine next time what are the prices that you can call for because your layout is so much more superior? So we hope that after you watch this entire video or just snippets of it, it gives you some clarity on whether you should go for either choices, Promenade Peak or River Green, or what kind of sequence that you should prioritize. And this preview date already started 17 July all the way to 29 July, and the booking date will be 2nd August or 3rd August. So be sure to check with us if you have any more queries, whether how should you go into sequencing your order of priority. Okay, please speak to us because it's going to be very chaotic on the balloting day, the booking day, and we hope you really don't make the wrong choices and overpay for unit. That's the last thing that we want to happen to you. Okay, and with that, thank you for watching this video. Again, these are the ways that you can contact me either through my Facebook, my WhatsApp, my Instagram, or my website. Just feel free, reach out to me for some more tips, okay, and I'll be very happy to share it with you.